The PFA Player of the Year is the biggest individual award in English football. It's given to the best player in the league each season, and only a few have ever won it. Liverpool players have won this award many times, even though they've only won the Premier League once. How does that make sense? Did all the winners really deserve it, or should someone else have won? Let's look at the last 15 winners to find out how good they really were and if anyone got robbed. 2008-2009, Ryan Giggs. After 20 years of playing professional football, Ryan Giggs finally won the PFA Player of the Year. And in the winning season, Giggs wasn't the same as he was in the past. He had the skills but not the pace anymore. And because of him slowing down, he was moved from the left to the middle of the park. That decision was the best one Ferguson could have taken, as Giggs flourished in that role, and whenever he was given the opportunity, he delivered. He even won the Premier League in that season, the FIFA Club World Cup, the League Cup, and he helped Manchester United reach the Champions League final, where they ultimately lost to Barcelona. But the most important thing is that he only had 12 league starts. How can a player with 12 league starts win the PFA Player of the Year? Well, he shouldn't have won. Instead, Nemanja Vidic or Xabi Alonso should have won the award. Many might make an argument for Steven Gerrard as well, but we don't take PR into consideration. The reason why Giggs actually won is because those who vote are the Professional Footballers Association. However, not all footballers are good analysts. Also, their bias comes into play. See, Ryan Giggs is one of the most loved footballers in the world, and one of the most respected, as he had an impeccable career. So players voted for him over the other players in the league, and so this award felt more like a lifetime achievement honor, as the other players knew this was his last chance to win it. So was Giggs' award in 2009 deserved? No, Xabi Alonso, Vidic, Steven Gerrard or even Frank Lampard should have won it instead. 2009-2010, Wayne Rooney. In the 2009-2010 season, Rooney was sensational. Ferguson changed the setup of the team, with the likes of Valencia and Nani supporting Rooney from the flanks, and it worked incredibly well. He finished the season with 34 goals and 7 assists in 42 games. Statistically, it was the best campaign of his career, with only Didier Drogba finding the net 29 times. Rooney was also a Premier League champion and was considered the third best player in the world, behind Messi and Ronaldo, for a very long time. This season just proved that perfectly. For his fine form and skills, he was awarded the PFA Player of the Season. And is there any point in debating this? This was arguably the best Premier League campaign ever, so it was totally deserved. 2003-2004 Thierry Henry. This season was a sensational one, not only for the Premier League, but for football as a whole. In 2003-2004, Arsenal won the only Golden Premier League title because they went unbeaten for the entire season. Arsenal earned their name for that, the Invincibles. And you best believe that Thierry Henry played a huge part in that. He was involved in 50% of the Gunners' league goals. He scored 37 goals and provided 9 assists. He was so good that until this day, people say he was robbed of the Ballon d'Or after finishing second behind Paul Nedved, who scored only 16 goals in 47 appearances. Henry won the European Golden Boot, FYA Footballer of the Year, and finally PFA Players Player of the Year. Again, just like in Rooney's case, this is regarded as one of the greatest individual seasons in football history. It would have been simply unfair if he didn't win the PFA Player of the Year. No discussion, absolutely deserved. 2010-2011, Gareth Bale. In the 2010-2011 season, Tottenham had a very promising team, with a young 23-year-old Gareth Bale roaming down the left flank, who finally transformed from just a promising young player to one of the best talents in the world. Prior to this season, Bale was used in the left-back position. However, under the manager Harry Redknapp, he was gradually pushed into the left-winger role, where he thrived, and as Tottenham finally got their chance to play in the Champions League, Bale didn't disappoint, especially with his insane hat-trick against Inter Milan, where he scored 3 almost identical goals from the same position. In the Premier League, he was even better, because he was very consistent. He scored 7 goals and provided 2 assists in 30 appearances and was voted Tottenham's best player. But here is the tricky part. Spurs finished only 5th in the Premier League, and Bale didn't win any trophies in that season. And while his importance for Tottenham can't be denied, he was wasn't really that great. I mean, 7 goals in 30 games for a winger, it's not that impressive, is it? So this one is debatable. Considering the fact that Manchester United won the Premier League in the same season and reached the UCL final, also when United actually faced Spurs, Vidic was the better player, because he produced a masterclass in defense in a 2-0 win at Old Trafford. He scored a crucial header against Chelsea when it mattered most, and he had 5 goals as a defender. So Vidic deserved it way more than Bale did. Moving on, we have the 2011-2012 season, with Robin van Persie being the winner. In a season where Arsenal was entering its decline and finished 3rd in the Premier League, Robin van Persie was a bright shining diamond in their attack, especially when you consider the void he had to fill after Cesc Fabregas left the club for Barcelona. Van Persie was also overshadowed at Arsenal by Thierry Henry, and now it was finally his time to shine. He scored 30 goals in 38 appearances to help Arsenal finish 3rd and achieve Champions League football. He finished as the league's top scorer, so he won the Premier League Golden Boot and Arsenal Player of the Season. If we only consider his numbers, it is clear that he is the absolutely deserved winner of the PFA Player of the Year in 2011-2012. But we definitely can't say the same about our next player on the list. 2012-2013 Gareth Bale. Unlike the last time he's won the award, Gareth Bale had some incredible numbers, and he also switched his role from a pure winger to a more central attacking midfielder, resulting in Bale being able to express himself more, shoot more often and create more chances. Individually, he was way better than the first time he won the PFA Player of the Year. But guess how many trophies he's won in that season? Absolutely none. No trophies, and Spurs again finished 5th in the Premier League, with Bale having a goal tally of 26 goals and 6 assists in 44 games, with 21 of those in the Premier League. So to put it frankly, he didn't win any trophies, Tottenham didn't go far in any competition, and he was only the 3rd top scorer in the Premier League. Spurs also missed on Champions League football, and the winner of the league and Golden Boot was Robin van Persie. You can decide on whether it was deserved or not, strictly judging by numbers. On one hand, you have a brilliant standout player who didn't really win anything, and the only achievement is his performances. While on the other hand, you have a not so spectacular player who scored the most goals in the Premier League and who also won it. So do you choose entertainment or effectiveness? And although we had doubts about this winner, there is surely no doubt whatsoever on the next one. 2013-2014 Luis Suarez. Before the Premier League season even began, Suarez was already banned for 10 matches because he beat Branislav Ivanovic. Fans thought that he would never come back after that and that the drama was just too much. Also, a move away was expected, as Arsenal and Real Madrid made offers for Luis Suarez. But to everyone's surprise, he stayed at Liverpool, and there was not a single Liverpool fan who disliked that, as he only failed to score in 3 of his 12 league matches before Christmas, carrying Liverpool all the way to the top of the Premier League. Also, in that amount of matches, he already had 19 goals. 4 of them came against Norwich. I had to mention this because that performance was simply legendary. On that day, he was the best player in the world. One more thing worth to notice is the Liverpool team, who were bang average. And just like that, Suarez carried them single-handedly to the first place. He almost did the impossible had it not been for that Steven Gerrard slip against Chelsea. Suarez ended the season with 31 goals and 17 assists in 33 games, while also hitting the post 9 times. And what you definitely can say about Suarez is that his goals were tap-ins, not even close. He won the Premier League Golden Boot, European Golden Shoe, and of course PFA Player of the Year. It would be a massive disrespect if I debated on whether he deserved it or not. So let's move on to our next winner. 2014-2015 Eden Hazard. After joining Chelsea in 2012, Hazard has been improving with each year, and this one was definitely his. In 2014-2015, Eden Hazard was arguably the only player that could have rivaled Messi with his dribbling. He was an incredible player, one that is still talked about today. He was a playmaker, a goal scorer, and more importantly a creator. Hazard even played 38 Premier League games, and in those matches he scored 14 goals and provided 9 assists, while also winning the Premier League, the League Cup, Chelsea Player of the Season, and finally the PFA Player of the Year. What more can I say about this guy? Another legendary season from a legendary player, totally deserved. But as magical as Chelsea's season was, nothing compares to the fairy tale we are going to talk about next, because the winner of the 2015-2016 PFA Player of the Year is Riyad Mahrez. Leicester City began the season with a 5,000 in 1 chance of winning the Premier League. According to bookmakers, there were more chances of Elvis Presley being alive than Leicester City winning the league. Their squad only cost £72 million, which is ridiculous, and I could talk all day about how insane that season actually was. But we are here for the PFA winner, who was a part of this Leicester City squad, none other than Riyad Mahrez. And I have to say, I have never seen a winger perform this good all of a sudden. Not only that, but he was also consistent until the end. His achievements from that season include the Premier League title, Leicester City Player of the Season, Premier League Team of the Year, and PFA Player of the Year. He scored 17 goals and 11 assists in 37 games. Unfortunately, we will never see magic like this happen ever again, because of how football has evolved. But it was nice seeing this happen nonetheless. For that legendary campaign, Mahrez deserves the award 100%. 2016-2017, N'Golo Kante. After winning the title with Leicester City, Kante caught the eyes of Chelsea, who bought him in the summer for 32 million euros to fix their problems in midfield. And to say that this was a brilliant investment is to say nothing. Under Antonio Conte, Chelsea played in a 3-4-3 formation, and it only worked because of Kante's ability to run endlessly. Chelsea won the Premier League with 93 points while setting a record of 30 wins in a 38-game season. And while his stats don't look impressive at all, 1 goal and 1 assist in 35 appearances, his ability to regain possession and transition from defense to attack was what really mattered. He was so good at running for the entire match that people started questioning whether he was using performance-enhancing drugs. The truth is that he just has free lungs. Kante won the Premier League back-to-back while being a key factor in Chelsea's success, so again a totally deserved winner of the PFA Player of the Year award. However, we can't say the same about the next winner, 2017-2018 Mohamed Salah. When Salah joined Liverpool from Roma for 42 million euros in the summer, nobody expected him to be anything special. But under Klopp's system, Salah transformed into a monster, setting multiple records and surprising everyone by reaching the Champions League final. That season, Salah broke the record for the most goals scored in a 38-game season with 32 goals and 10 assists in 36 appearances in the Premier League. But despite breaking the record for the most goals, Liverpool were nothing short of average in the Premier League, as they finished 4th behind Spurs, Man United and Manchester City. Liverpool reached the Champions League final, but we're talking about performances in the Premier League, and in that case, De Bruyne was more clinical and important for his team. Add to that he was the Premier League champion, not Salah. But I leave this one for you. Who should have won it in this season? 2018-2019 Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool tried to continue their good run from the last season, and this time it wasn't Mohamed Salah who made the difference, but rather a defender, Van Dijk. As the title race between Manchester City and Liverpool was more intense than ever, it went down to the final day, and Manchester City won it by only 1 point. Van Dijk also finished second in the Ballon d'Or that season after nobody was able to dribble past him for 65 games. Liverpool won the Champions League and Van Dijk played a crucial part in that, but again not enough to win the Premier League. He won the Premier League Player of the Season, Premier League Team of the Season, UEFA Men's Player of the Year, and finally the PFA Player of the Year. However, I will make an argument for Raheem Sterling, because again, just like De Bruyne, he played a crucial role in City's incredible Premier League campaign. In 34 appearances, he had 17 goals and 10 assists, while also being the FA Cup winner, EFL Cup winner, PFA Young Player of the Year, and he was selected in PFA Team of the Year. Van Dijk, on the other hand, only won the Champions League as far as major titles go. So who should have won between these two? Moving on to the next winner, we have the same amount of controversy, as in 2019-2020 De Bruyne won the award. This is the famous pandemic season season when COVID-19 turned football upside down, and after a season filled with injuries, De Bruyne came back in 2019-2020. Until then, nobody has seen a midfielder this creative, because in 35 appearances, De Bruyne had 13 goals and equaled Thierry Henry's record of 20 assists. He also created 136 chances, the most in the league, while also winning the PFA Player of the Year, Premier League Playmaker of the Season, Man City's Player of the Season, and many other awards. But not the Premier League title. And this brings us to another contender for the award, who was actually the Premier League champion, Jordan Henderson. He captained that Liverpool side for their first EPL title in history, and just like in the previous years, he was overlooked. Why? Well, because he's Jordan Henderson. He had 4 goals and 5 assists in 30 appearances, but his most important trait was leading the team, and his season goes beyond statistics. Because of that, Henderson is my deserved winner of the 2019-2020 PFA Player of the Year. Moving on, we again have the same winner, 2020-2021 De Bruyne. It was Man City's first ever UCL final, and surely De Bruyne made that possible. And although he got injured in the final and City lost, his season was still a memorable one. De Bruyne won the Premier League, the EFL Cup, UEFA Midfielder of the Year, and PFA Player of the Year award, while also scoring 6 goals and 12 assists in 25 games. Brilliant, but there was someone even better. Despite the fact that Spurs finished 7th in the Premier League, there was one player from their team that definitely deserved better: Harry Kane. Led by Jose Mourinho, Kane won the Premier League Golden Boot and Playmaker of the season as a striker, far more complete than De Bruyne that season. He also had 23 goals in 35 appearances and 14 assists, outclassing De Bruyne at what he does best. So clearly De Bruyne's PFA Player of the Year is not deserved, and it should have gone to Harry Kane instead. However, our next situation is even more interesting, as the 2021-2022 winner is Mohamed Salah. Again, we had an insane title race with the difference between the top 2 teams being only 1 point. And yes, it was between Manchester City and Liverpool once more. The winner is one player that was called a one-season wonder in 2018. It was 2022 and he consistently delivered for Liverpool. In 35 appearances, he won the Golden Boot with 23 goals and the Playmaker of the Season with 13 assists, with Liverpool being runners-up in the Champions League against Real Madrid. In that season, despite Liverpool not winning anything, Salah cemented his name as one of the all-time greats in the Premier League, and to award him, he won the PFA Player of the Year. Now, was it deserved? Heung-min Son shared the Premier League Golden Boot with him, scoring 23 goals as well, but was he a real competition for Salah? No, not really. Salah carried Liverpool almost all the way to the top and was brilliant all season long. Son, on the other hand, finished 4th with Spurs, but to be clear, Tottenham were never title contenders in that season. So that's it. That's how good the last 15 PFA Players of the Year winners actually were. Which one is your favorite?